All right, semicolon. Let me put some semicolon to end these things off. All right, here comes the text one now. The text label. The label that comes in is text label. The text is going to be welcome to Java, just like you saw in the introduction, not Java, but Java. The X coordinate is going to be 22 and the Y is going to be 0. The width is going to be 550 and, okay, I think I have, yep, 550. And my height is 88. I already did the math for these little numbers here, so that's why I'm saying that. The picture label, I hope you were able to pick up the pattern here. What text you wanted? Well, no text. This is empty string. 2 quotes, not a space, because remember the ASCII was 32. Okay, if you remember. Don't want that. No space, nothing, just completely empty. I don't want any words on my picture. And now the picture is at 150. The Y value is 70. The width is 300 and the height is 300. Okay. So now I've had all my stuff created. All my stuff is ready to go. The only 2 things that are blank are my constructor and my main method. So I'm going to go ahead now and call a method in the constructor. This dot create the user interface. So let's put it all together. When you're about to construct a welcome application, simply call the method create user interface, and I'll show you. Scroll down, that's the last one we just did. And then this code is going to run. But when this runs, it's going to be running these in a particular order. So how does this work now? Well, I'm going to go ahead now and set up my main method to see something when it runs. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a welcome object. And this is the actual class we just made. I'm going to call it app equals to new welcome. All right, at this point, we got to stop. We just created an instance of a class. The instance is called app. This is the no args constructor up here. Okay, that's this guy. So this line of code literally just called the create user interface. I'm going to do one more line of code, app.set default closed operation. You could tell it comes up. I double click on it. Then I'm going to say jframe.exit on close. I'm just going to write that, and you're going to write this every single time. We're going to use the word app every time as well, and we're going to say exit on close. This just simply means when you hit the X on the window, close it. Okay. So this is start the app, stop the app. That's literally main. Okay, 2 lines. Start it, stop it. So right now I'm going to go ahead and run this and see how that looks. Yep, looks good, except we don't have our image. Okay, we don't have our image. So when this tutorial is online, you'll have the image to put right here. Now you can put any image you want, but I'll give you the image. It'll be online as well, so you could go ahead and do what I'm about to do. So this is all this code just to do this little thing you're probably thinking. And pretty simple to understand. The code is going to also be online later at some point. So again, we have the things we need, a constructor to make it, and all the methods in a particular order, all the blocks neatly written. Okay, so that's important. Got to be neat. Now I want my image to show up. Okay, I want my image. I have an image and I want it to show up. Well, there's nothing in here that talks about the image. Nothing at all that talks about the image. So how could I go ahead and get an image in here? So, well, the picture label needs to add an image. So picture label, set your icon. Okay, so at this point right now, we need to create the image in here. So new image icon, and then in this string we need to tell it where to look, and obviously see a line underneath. Hope you're paying attention. You need to import it. So just click on that. Okay, so this string right here is saying where and what image. Okay, so the image I'm gonna put on is called java.jpg. Realize the extension has to be on too. Okay, not just the name of the image, but even the extension. And then here comes the tricky part. I have to put this image in my workspace. Workspace. That's what I was talking about. If you don't know how to find yours, you'll have a tough time showing your image on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and find mine. So mine is on my name Lake, and it says Lake Workspace. It's Introduction to Computer Science. It's inside my source folder, and it's inside of Unit 2. Let me do that again. Trying to find where this project is, okay? Lake. My workspace is called Lake Workspace. The project is intro. That's what we're going to actually use all the time. Going to my source, and here is Unit 2. So because I have all of this looking for my stuff, that's a directory thing, okay? So we got to make sure that we can find our workspace and do this. So first thing I need to do then is I need to create a folder. It's called images. I know it's only one image I'm putting in there, but we want to make sure we do things right. Generally, we have more than one image, so I have that. I'm gonna find my image, okay? This image is gonna go inside my images folder, okay? So now this is my workspace, and it has the welcome that we just wrote and the images, okay? So I need to go ahead now and tell it where to look to find this image. So I gotta back up and show you where to look. So once you get into the Introduction to Computer Science, it's gonna look there automatically because that's where we're writing our code. We need to go into the source folder, the Unit 2 folder, and the images folder to get this. Okay, so let's see if we could do that. First one is src /. Let's see, let's go back and check. We got to make sure we get this right. So we go into the source folder. Okay, let's I'm in there. Now I got to go into Unit 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So the next one is Unit 2. And then I'm going to put another slash. But it's not inside of Unit 2, right? There's another folder called Images. So let me do that. Now that's my image in here. Yeah, so let's see if this would work. So this is one line of code right here. It says go looking in the source folder, go looking in the Unit 2 folder, go looking in the images folder, and you should see this image and put it on the screen now. So let's see. There we go. Now let's say I had the wrong thing here. Okay? Let's say I had the wrong directory here. You won't see the image. And I ran this, okay? Then run and you won't see the image. Because the images is in this folder. The images is actually in the unit slash. And then when I run it again, I would see my image. Now realize I can't open this window, I can't drag on it. If I turn this off by making it a comment, now it's resizable. So look at the difference. I could grab here and pull it out. It looks bad. Looks bad. Looks real bad. Okay? I don't want that. So it's turned off. Oh, here we go. It just said turned off. Yep. That's a 1 and that's a 0. A Boolean is true or false. It's bits. That's a 1. That's a 0. Bit. So the visible is turned on and the resizable is turned off. The other thing that I wanted to show you, little tricks here, is that these two statements here are absolutely not necessary. We could write this in one statement. I'm going to do it right down here. Label equals to new J label and put the text in. So we got two ways to do this. You can make it without any text, no argument. Then put the text on by calling the method setText, or make it with the text. I'll show you. I'll put these two out and I'll run it again. And what you'll see is, okay, because the text goes on immediately when I make it. Well, every time we're doing coordinates, your top left is 0, 0, the origin. You're accustomed to y-axis and an x-axis where the 0, 0 is in the middle. But in a computer, the 0, 0 is up here. And the x values go across to the right, positive. And the y's go down, positive. Okay, let me say that again. 0, 0 is here. It's an upside down axis. 0, 0 is here. If I increase the y, it goes down, down. If I increase the x, it goes to the right. I'll show you that. So right now, this set size sets the size to 600. That's the width. Sets the height to 413. You can play around with these things. I suggest you do that. Now, because I have this set size and I don't want it, let's not undo that. I don't want it. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to say this dot set bounds. Now, I'm going to put the width to be 608 and I'll put the height to be 413 like it is up there. This puts it at 0, 0. I could put mine at 0, 0 as well. Okay, I could say put it at 0, 0, and when I'm done, I'm going to run this, and you're going to see it's going to be up here. The content pane, which is yellow, up here is 0, 0. Increasing in Y, increasing in X going across. The panel, it has a 0, 0 too. Increasing in Y, increasing in X. The image has a 0, 0. Everything increasing in Y, increasing in X. So every object that we see on the screen, it's 0, 0 is the top left. Top left is 0, 0. And going down is increasing Y. That's a higher value of Y. And going to the right is a higher value of X. You want to keep this as a guide and write your apps this way. If I had 15 labels to set up, let's say this was 15 labels here, okay? If there were 15 of them, then inside of my create user interface, I would have had 15 calls to the method, okay? Since we are writing everything inside, we're going to use this. As we continue writing more and more code, we're going to see that this is going to be changed into different object types. So what we're going to do now is look again at the main method, 2 lines, start the app, stop the app. This is one of the things that you have to make sure you understand, because this is an instance of a class, which means it's an object. Anytime you see the word new, once here, come up a little bit further, you could see them up here. A font is an object. Yeah, it's making a new font. This is called an anonymous object because we don't have a name for it. Okay, we could have done it like this. We could have said font Arial equals, and take all of this and put it here, and then put the word Arial in here. So we made the font, gave it a name, and then set the font to that. Okay? So you see how I just did it with an anonymous object. I could also make it one so it actually has a name. I did that to let you see that there are different flavors to doing this thing. Now your next job is going to be to make another one that's similar to this, 2 of them to be specific. I'm going to have the actual picture that you're trying to create. I'm also going to have you look at the welcome and use it as a guide to complete that. So what we're going to do now is wrap this up by taking a look at the whole thing all over again. We got to be in unit 2. Okay, that's the package. All the imports up here came from the API. So make a note of that. API. Application. Programming. Interface. There's a inheritance going on here. Parent. Child. Extending the parent is the child. All the things we need to make a no argument constructor. We're going to do a no argument constructor to start. That's going to be very much the theme to start, and then eventually we're going to change this. After you finish doing the constructor, then we're going to write all the methods, trying to be consistent in setting things up. So we're going to set up things as they appear. That's the reason for staying in order. And once we're finished setting up everything and we create a user interface, we are going to make sure that we call the content pane first and the window last. So just remember that the order does matter when you're writing code. So that's it. Unit 2, it's a wrap.